What up? Thank you for tuning in. For those who haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that like button. Feel free to drop a comment in the comment section. Okay, I was laying down today thinking, and something came across my mind, and it said, some people are addicted to mistreating you. I'm going to say that again. Some people are addicted to mistreating you. Now, the reason why I said that is you have people that's in relationships, and I mean, they stay in these relationships for years, just to be mentally abused. Not just physically abused, but mentally abused. And this ain't just women. This is men also. And what made me think about this was I was in the store the other day. I was in Walmart. And it was a guy and a girl, 2 kids. They was walking in the store, and all of a sudden you hear the girl, she's saying to him, "I hate you. I wish you just go. I'm tired of you. I swear I hate you." And I heard him say, "Whatever, just watch your mouth in front of my kids." She turned around and said, "I don't give a F. I can't stand you." And I'm just looking like, wow, you know what I'm saying? I can imagine what that guy could feel like. But those kids, and it's like, regardless of what problem you have with the person you're with, you should never ever, belittle them in front of the children, you know what I mean? Because when you disrespect that person you with in front of the children, them children end up disrespecting you later on because they seen how you always got disrespected, But anyway, back to what I was saying. You got people in these relationships forever. A lot of people say, "Oh, sticks and stones may break my bones, but the words will never hurt me." Words hurt. You get called certain names over and over again, especially by someone that you love. It begins to affect you. When is the right time to walk away? How many things are you going to sacrifice? Meaning, how much of your peace of mind will you sacrifice to keep this toxic person in your life? This person that clearly don't love you, Now, I know we don't control, rather. We can't help who we fall in love with, But love isn't supposed to hurt like that, Love is supposed to put you down. And I'm really basing this. Well, I'm really the people I'm really talking to are, the men. It's rough for a man, out here, trying to stay alive, trying to provide for his children. You know what I mean? It's even a struggle to be faithful. And for you to have to come home and hear, "You ain't this, you ain't that." And some men, I applaud a lot of these men because, you got some men that will straight put their hands on a woman, But then you got a lot of men that won't put their hands on a woman, So he's taking that day in, day out, day in and day out, just because he's trying to be somebody to, he don't want to leave his situation. He want to take care of his kids. Same thing for women. How many women get put down? "Oh, you this, you that, you fat, you ugly, you whatever the case may be." You hearing this shit from the person you love, day in and day out. When do you leave? When do you say enough is enough? Sometimes love is a mental disorder. We get it so misconstrued the word that we start settling for anything, feeling like our life is over with. "Oh, I know she talks about me. I know she don't respect me, but I love her, I know he hits me. I know he calls me names in front of my kids, but I love him." We got to stop trying to embrace others and embrace ourselves, We all need hugs, And sometimes you got to hug yourself. Sometimes you really got to hug yourself. you know? And if you one of them people that got to sit there and hug themselves, what's the point of you even being with that other person? You know, people would be so used to mistreating you that it never stops. It becomes a chore for them. Because believe me, inside, they are so insecure. They're so upset and disappointed within themselves. And you're the closest thing they have to unleash on. Because trust me, if you wasn't there, they'd be doing it to their kids. It's a shame. It's definitely a disorder. So, what I challenge people to do is love yourself. Ask yourself, is this person I'm with a toxic person? Is they toxic? Are they helping me grow? You know, it's nothing worse than watching people argue in front of their children, you know, over the dumbest things too. Something. I mean, I hear a lot. I see a lot, you know. And, you know, I have kids. Last thing I want to do is see my son or my daughter go through being put down constantly, being mistreated, you know. Things that you shouldn't even see. In a relationship, I'm going to tell you, one of the worst things you could say in a relationship is mine. It's mine. Or I'm grown. Or I don't care. These are things, it's just a recipe for disaster. These are things that you'll never grow in a relationship using them terms. You know, if someone comes to you and says, listen, man, can you please stop doing this? It's hurting me. You know what I mean? And your only reply to them is, I'm grown and I don't care. You deserve everything that's coming to you. Because you're not grown. Actually, you're not grown. You should have turned around and said, I'm not grown. That's why I don't care. That should have been what you said. I see this all the time. You not my father. You not my mother. What do you mean? What do you mean? Why are you with the person then? Why are you with them? You know, if all you're going to do is ridicule them, and disrespect your relationship, why are you even with them? Learn how to love yourself before you try to love someone else. Love yourself before you try to love someone else. Because your love can ultimately hurt another person to the point where they'll never get right. And it's true, hurt people do hurt people, period. You know, and then on the flip side of things, we are human. Think about it. If the shoe was on the other foot, how would you react? How would you feel? You know? If your woman came to you and said, look, I don't like, you know, how you was talking to that girl the other day, blah, 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 you know? And you turn around and say, I'm grown. Don't worry about it. You're just insecure. You know? It's crazy, you know. In a relationship, you must respect each other. What might be important to you might not be important to that person. But because it's important to that person, you need to work on it. If not, leave it alone. Some people don't need to be in relationships. Like I said, some people are addicted to mistreating you. But you should be addicted to loving yourself. Thank you for tuning in to Kyam Thoughts. Please leave a comment in the comment section. I'm out.